Make the ground shake.
Hello YouTube, this is FairyTail chapter 493 review. Now this chapter, I'm just going to go ahead and state the best part, the ending. I know manga authors or mangakas, whatever you want to call them, they always like to kind of troll us or make us want to read the next chapter by putting something really hype as the last page. And Hiro Mashima, you did that. You did that. We have this one guy, which I believe is the last Spriggan 12 to be shown. I believe we've seen all the Spriggan 12 now. And his name is Rakheed Dragneel. Forgive me if I butcher the name. And this guy, already, you put Dragneel in his name, and the FairyTail fans, they're going to get hype. Because, well, Natsu's last name is Dragneel, and Zerath's last name is Dragneel. So I have three theories, actually. I had a couple at first, but then I came up with a third one. So let me go ahead and start off with the theories, starting off with the one I feel like is the best. Now, the first one, you probably have already guessed it, is that Rakheed is Natsu and Zerath's dad. Now, the way I see this happening, because there's no way this guy would be alive if something didn't happen for him to be like able to go to the future, but we know there's this thing called the Eclipse Project that Zerath used to send all 5 Dragon Slayers, or not all 5, the 5 Dragon Slayers that are true Dragon Slayers. And, well, I'm theorizing that Zerath sent his father and maybe his mother to the future, or maybe Rakheed, which this is my second theory now, maybe Rakheed is other brother of Zerath and Natsu. Now, the first one honestly makes more sense, but this one could too. Now, the third and final theory that is not as likely is that Rakheed is like a future ancestor of Natsu and Zerath, or actually the present ancestor of Natsu and Zerath, but for Natsu and Zerath, it's the future ancestor because we know that they're like 400 years old. And I honestly, that one, it makes sense, but I don't see it being the number one. I see, honestly, the first one, like I said, being the father of Natsu and Zerath. That would be the best one, honestly, and it just seems really cool. And now that Hiro has added him in, especially as the last Spriggan 12, it's really good. It's getting hype. I feel like this isn't the climax of the war. I feel like this is just like the middle part of the war, and the climax is coming to later, but still it's getting to the climax, just not at the climax yet. And the hype it's built up for me is just, it's so much. Now, I'm not gonna ramble on and on about Rakheed because I gotta talk about other stuff in the chapter, but I just want everyone to know that that was my favorite part in the entire chapter, hands down. So, let me get on to other parts in the chapter. So, we start off the chapter with Mira Jane and Aline, as we started or ended off of last chapter, and Aline is, was gonna basically beat the living crap out of Mira Jane. And for some reason, Hiro Mashima, he just loves that fan service, especially when he's torturing people. And it always just happens to be Mira Jane or Urza or Lucy or somebody like that. And he loves to put his fan service in there. And I'm not complaining. It's FairyTail. I understand that Hiro Mashima is going to put his fan service in there. And that's fine and alright. And I'm not going to call it even bullcrap that when Mira Jane was shot by August in the heart. I'm not going to call that bullcrap because Brandis shrunk it. And she's fine, kind of, as far as we know. Now, that could be a different story. She could be, like, about to die or something like that next chapter. And, well, we need somebody, or maybe Mira Jane's gonna die. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think that was kind of it. August shot her in the heart. Brandis shrunk the hole where she was shot at, and she's kind of fine. She does need medical treatment, probably. Well, actually, she was shot in the heart. She needs medical treatment. She should be dead. But I think everything is kind of going to go smoothly there. Now, Aline was torturing Mira Jane because, well, she hurt her precious comrades, or like her children. Yeah, she called her children, Aline's children. And, Aline wasn't too happy about that. But August was like, alright, we got to go to the guild. All the Spriggan 12 are meeting up at FairyTail. And that's what I meant by guild, the FairyTail Guild. They're going to the FairyTail Guild to meet up with Zeref. And so this is going to be, a good part of this arc. I can already tell you that. Like, guild arts, you gotta show up. I say this in like all my reviews, but guild arts, you have to show up, dude, because it's gonna get hype. And honestly, this arc or war so far, it's been great. And I just feel like I said earlier, it's getting into like the middle parts. And I can't wait till we get to the climax. But Natsu, Zeref, and now that we got Rakid, I can just see it. Like, I can just see it. Now, Rakid to me, he seems like he's going to be the traitor. I know Brandish kind of has betrayed Zeref already, but she really hasn't. Like, she hasn't left the Spriggan 12, but she's helped out FairyTail and the other guilds a little bit. But I feel like Rakid's going to be the one to be like, screw it, I'm betraying. And the reason why I say this is because, like I said, I think he's Natsu's father, and that was my number one theory. So, what if he sees Natsu and he's like, that's my boy! That's my boy! And he's like, alright, I'm going to join up with Natsu because maybe Rakid is in the Spriggan 12 because he knows what Zeref's up to, and he knows that he is Zeref's father, and he wants to stop him, and that's why he's in it, so he can later betray him. And then he sees Natsu, and he's like, okay, I can go with Natsu and his guild, and then we can wreck Zeref. Now, that is just like some little bit of another theory in my head, but it would be pretty cool if that happened, you have to admit. Now, moving on to another thing in this chapter that I thought was great, and it was my favorite part of last chapter, honestly, and that was Serena and Yukino, and they were talking, and Serena was like, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm not your sister, and it's so obvious that they're sisters, and Yukino knew that, and she just knew her sister was kind of being shy about it, and she's like, there's no way, she's like, I can't hug you and tell you that I'm your sister until I atone for my sins, and she's like, walks off crying, and she's like, oh, well, at least I know Yukino is okay. And that's a good sister in a way. I know that Serena or Angel is kind of, she was bad in the past and she's working to be good towards the future and everything. And I feel like that after this war, she's going to go to Yukino and be like, alright, I've done everything I felt like that was needed to do. Yeah, I'm your sister. And then they're going to do like a hug or something like that. And I feel like that it's going to be like an emotional part of the war or the arc. And also, one thing when she said atoning for her sins, I feel like that she is going to do something really good in this war. And not just her, the other people in Crime Sorcery, I almost forgot their name for some reason. I almost called them Ration Saints. They were once part of the Ration Saints, but now they're part of Crime Sorcery. Just a little reminder, I'm sure everyone knew that anyways. But let me get on to the rest of the chapter. Now, I kind of want to talk about Rakid's magic. And it seems like his magic, it's pretty cool. I like his magic. His magic is basically like magic that when he kills you, you don't have pain. You feel good when he kills you. I mean, that is the best kind of magic ever. When you kill somebody, they feel good, so you don't have to worry about them dying painfully. That's just kind of cool to me. I don't know. You guys may think that's stupid. Who knows? Now, Demiria was trying to escape. As we know, she was kind of, or some of you may not know, I shouldn't have said that so blatantly, like we all knew. She was kept prisoner, and the prison guards, or those guarding over her, were trying to get her back in her cell or wherever they were keeping her, and, well, Ragnil showed up. Or, I said Ragnil? I'm mixing his name. Rakid showed up and used his white magic, and, well, they were like, oh, this feels so good, and he's like, let you ascend up to the heavens and be free, and then their souls like go up to heaven or whatever hero Mashima has, like the afterlife in Fairy Tail has, and he basically, sends them to heaven. Yeah, sends them to heaven, I guess. I don't know. Maybe later he'll like send like them back or something. I don't know. But that's basically this chapter in a nutshell. Tell me anything I missed out. If you enjoyed this review, give me a like, comment down below, tell me what you thought of this chapter. Anyways, guys, subscribe for more content. Sorry if you heard any background noises. Anyways, guys, have a nice day. Xeno is out.